Hi class. I chose to talk about careers in local law enforcement agencies for this presentation. I referenced the Denville Township Police Department in a few of my slides because that is the department that I have already applied to for a job once I graduate. This presentation will give a sense of my rationale for proposed career within local law enforcement agencies, application requirements, the trend of local law enforcement positions, pros and cons of the career, ethical codes and issues, within local law enforcement and diversity issues within local law enforcement. This section will explain why I have decided to choose a career in local law enforcement. Law enforcement has always been an interest of mine since I was a young child. I attribute that to coming from a family with a background with a strong presence of law enforcement. I have two uncles and one cousin who are currently police officers at the local level. In addition, a very good family friend of mine is a state trooper with the New Jersey State Police. Constantly surrounded by family growing up gave me the opportunity to get a deeper understanding of what police officers do on a day-to-day basis. Law enforcement careers interest me the most because it is a job that is extremely active, as opposed to other jobs which require you to sit behind the desk for 8 hours. This past summer, I had the opportunity to intern with the New Milford Police Department, my hometown. I aspire to hold a respectable and reputed position in the criminal justice system, in addition to creating change within the community I serve. This section will talk about the minimum qualifications as well as the application process to obtain a job with a local law enforcement agency. Before applying to specific towns for an entry-level police officer position, certain requirements must be met. The minimum qualifications, as posted on the Denville Township Police Department's website, are as follows. The applicant must be no less than 18 years old nor more than 35 years old at the time of appointment. The applicant must be of sound body, good moral character, and in good health sufficient to satisfy the Board of Trustees of the Police and Firearms Retirement System. The candidate must possess a minimum of 60 college credits from an accredited university, with a preference provided to applicants who have a Bachelor's of Art or Bachelor's of Science degree. The applicant must be a citizen of the United States and a legal resident of New Jersey. The applicant must possess a valid New Jersey driver's license. The applicant must not have been convicted of a crime. The actual application was broken down into 20 sections. The sections are as follows: biographical information, education, motor vehicle type and license information, traffic violations, motor vehicle accidents, current employment, professional references, previous employment, military status, criminal history, gambling-related activities, personal references, police, public safety, and security experience, special skills, trainings, or certifications, miscellaneous information, family members who are police officers, additional information, voluntary compliance information, agreement statement, and the last section was the payment. The application was $100, which was non-refundable. This section pertains to the last 5 years' trend of hiring. Local law enforcement agencies in Bergen County, New Jersey typically carry between 30 and 35 officers on their roster. Entry-level police officer jobs are extremely competitive to obtain in the area I am applying. However, the last 5 years have shown that hiring rates have gone up. The U.S. Department of Labor shows that New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area are currently among the most prominent areas for hiring police officers. Employment in these areas is currently at 54,670 officers. Per 1,000 jobs, the rate is 5.76. From 1997 to 2016, the number of full-time sworn police officers in general purpose law enforcement agencies increased by about 52,000, which is up 8%. It is clear that jobs are available in New Jersey as well as other parts of the country. Hiring statuses have increased throughout the years, as the U.S. Department of Labor's website shows. With that being said, jobs are still extremely competitive to get since there are only a limited number of spots departments have open. This section will talk about the pros and cons of having a career in local law enforcement. The pros of having a career in local law enforcement agencies include flexible schedules, competitive pay, and a new experience every day. The cons of a local law enforcement career include working weekends, working holidays, and, and working both day and night shift every 2 weeks. Bergen County has the highest median pay rate for police officers in the state of New Jersey. Typical departments rotate their schedules so officers work 2 days on, 2 days off, followed by 3 days on, 3 days off for 12 hours per shift. Additionally, the excitement of the job and the constant uncertainty of what your day may hold is something that motivates me to continuously be focused on the duties that come with the job. The first two downsides include working weekends and holidays. Naturally, nobody likes working weekends or holidays. However, in a law enforcement career, someone has to do it. Another downside to working a law enforcement career includes rotating between day and night shifts every 2 weeks. The rotation affects sleep schedules, family schedules, and personal schedules of an officer. Ethical codes and issues will be discussed in this section. Ethical codes and issues that pertain to local law enforcement officers include off-duty life, upholding the law and your rights, necessary force, acting impartially, and profiling all fall under ethical issues of a local law enforcement officer. It is important to set a good example to the community in which you serve and live, even when you are not working. Nobody is above the law, especially not police officers. This is why off-duty life and upholding the law and your rights are especially important all the time. Necessary force, acting impartially, and profiling is the second component to ethical issues. Failure to properly exhibit necessary force, acting impartially, and profiling could result in an officer getting criminally prosecuted. Sterling and Sullivan stated that from 2012 to 2016, a total of 9,281 people were injured by the police. Close to half of those instances sent the subject to the hospital. Of 156 police officers, officers put at least one person in the hospital per the 5 years reviewed. This just goes to show that the stakes are very high, and it is crucial for local law enforcement officers to stay out of the spotlight regarding bad press. This section will discuss diversity issues in local law enforcement. Diversity issues within local law enforcement careers relate to race, ethnicities, and religion, specifically within the department and officer works. Flavin of Russman College talks about why diversity matters, especially as it pertains to law enforcement officers. Flavin states that most police departments require diversity training. It is a major disadvantage to police officers and civilians to assume common misunderstandings. Diversity can be a good thing for both police officers and civilians. This training is a good aspect which will help show the benefits of diversity. As a result of diversity, many officers can be accused of profiling. Racial and ethnic profiling has no place in law enforcement agencies. Flavin talks about how it is extremely important for officers to understand the area in which they work as well as to avoid misconceptions about the community they serve. To conclude, a career in law enforcement can be extremely rewarding for a police officer. Marywood University's criminal justice program students have been afforded the opportunity to succeed in life after college. Staying persistent in finding a job is key, especially as it pertains to law enforcement positions. Luckily, the trend of law enforcement hiring is on the rise. The career will provide officers with a number of benefits as well as some unfortunate side effects. Officers who comply with ethical codes and handle diversity issues well will be set up to have a long and successful career within local law enforcement agencies. Thank you for listening to my presentation.